Imagine watching someone climb a mountain in real time. Not slowly, not stumbling, but with this quiet, almost terrifying certainty, like they were built for exactly this. That is what following Alexandra Eala has felt like over the past 12 months. And if you tuned in recently and saw her name sitting at number 45 in the world after being at number 29 just 2 weeks ago, I completely understand if your heart sank a little. I get it. The Filipino tennis community felt it. Social media felt it. For a brief moment, it felt like the dream had hit a wall. But here is the thing, and this is exactly why you need to stay with me for the next few minutes. That drop is not what it looks like. Not even close. In fact, once I walk you through what actually happened, you are going to feel something very different. You are going to feel excited because the math, the calendar, and the sheer talent of this young woman are all pointing in the exact same direction, and that direction is up. So let us go back to March 16, 2026, because that date matters. That was the day Eala reached a career-high ranking of world number 29, accumulating 1,525 ranking points. Now pause on that for a second. A 20-year-old from the Philippines, sitting inside the top 30 of professional women's tennis on the entire planet. Players who have been grinding on tour since their mid-teens, veterans who have won Grand Slams, who have been ranked inside the top 10 for years, Alex was right there with them. The celebrations were real and they were deserved. From Manila to Mallorca, where she spent her teenage years learning the game at the Rafa Nadal Academy, people who love this sport understood that something genuinely special was unfolding. Then Monday, March 30th arrived and the new rankings dropped. Number 45. Down 16 spots. And look, I am not going to pretend that did not sting, because it did. But here is where we need to slow down and actually understand what happened instead of reacting to a number on a screen. The WTA ranking system runs on a 52-week rolling window. Every point you earn at a tournament stays on your record for exactly 1 year, then it disappears. So if you made a deep run at a big event last year, earned hundreds of points, you now have to match that result this year just to stay even. Fall short of it and you lose ground, even if you played beautifully. That is the system. Cold, mechanical, and completely indifferent to the quality of your tennis. Now here is where the story of Eala gets genuinely fascinating. Cast your mind back to the 2025 Miami Open. Alex walked into that tournament as a wild card, ranked around 140 in the world. Nobody outside of dedicated tennis followers knew her name. And then she went on one of those runs that makes you remember why you fell in love with this sport. She defeated multiple seasoned professionals, including players who had won Grand Slams, and she did not just squeak past them either. She competed. She imposed herself. She reached the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event as a wildcard, which is the kind of result that reshapes a career overnight. That run earned her 390 ranking points and it put her name on the international tennis map for good. Fast forward to Miami 2026. Alex comes in seeded 31st this time, no longer the scrappy underdog but a legitimate top 30 professional. She gets a first-round bye. She beats Laura Siegemund in 3 sets, showing real mental toughness. She follows that up by taking care of Magda Linette in the 3rd round. Then she runs into Karolina Muchova in the round of 16 and loses 6-0, 6-2. That scoreline looks rough, but Muchova was playing some of the best tennis of the tournament, and losing to a red-hot top 15 player in the 4th round of a WTA 1000 event is not a crisis. It just is not. A round of 16 finish at Miami is a genuinely strong result for a 20-year-old. The problem is not the result itself. The problem is what the result replaced. When the computer went to update her ranking, it deleted those 390 semifinal points from 2025 and replaced them with 120 points for the round of 16 in 2026. Net loss, 270 points. Her total fell from 1,525 to 1,255. That is the entire explanation. There was no injury. There was no form collapse. There was no drama behind the scenes. It was simply the calendar doing what the calendar always does, and it caught Alex in one of the most brutal spots the WTA schedule can put a player in, defending a miracle run from the year before. But now, right now, is when this story takes a sharp and genuinely thrilling turn, because everything that just worked against her is about to work completely in her favor. The hard court season is done. Indian Wells and Miami are behind her. And the sport is about to shift onto clay, which is significant for two reasons. First, clay court tennis is where Alex's game truly comes alive. She was shaped by the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, an institution built on the philosophy that there is no shortcut, no replacement for hours spent grinding on red dirt, learning to construct points with patience and ferocity in equal measure. Her heavy topspin forehand, her left-handed angles, her ability to outlast opponents in long exchanges, all of that plays beautifully on a slow clay surface. Second, and this is the part that should make every Filipino tennis fan genuinely giddy, her points defense calendar over the next several months is almost completely empty. Let me say that again because it is important. She has almost nothing to defend. After Miami last year, Alex went to the Madrid Open and lost in the second round to Iga Swiatek, the world number 1. She went to Rome and lost in the first round. She went to Roland Garros and lost in the first round. She went to Wimbledon and lost in the first round. Now, before you think that sounds discouraging, understand what it actually means for where she stands today. Those results earned her almost no points, which means the WTA computer has almost nothing to subtract from her record during the entire clay and grass season. Every match she wins from here until July is pure profit, pure gain. The runway is completely clear and she is holding all the fuel. To appreciate just how special this window is, you have to understand how most top players experience the clay season. They are burdened. They are carrying the weight of big points from the previous year, knowing that one bad week, one early exit, can send their ranking tumbling. It adds a layer of psychological pressure that can quietly strangle a player's game. Alex walks into this stretch with none of that pressure. She is free. She is hunting, not defending. And the form she is bringing into this clay season is not the form of a player who needs a break. It is the form of a player who is genuinely hitting her stride. Her 2026 season started in Auckland at the ASB Classic, a WTA 250 event, where she reached the semifinals in both singles and doubles. She was moving beautifully, striking the ball cleanly, and winning matches with a confidence that looked very different from even 6 months earlier. Then she went to Abu Dhabi for the Mubadala Open, a WTA 500 event, and reached the quarterfinals. Then she went to Dubai, a WTA 1000 event, and reached the quarterfinals again, picking up a win over Jasmine Paolini, a top 10 player, along the way. Not a fluke win either. A composed, controlled performance against one of the best players in the world. Then Indian Wells, where she reached the 4th round, then Miami, where she reached the round of 16. That is a sustained run of consistent, deep performances at high-level events throughout an entire season opener. That is not luck. That is a player who has genuinely improved, who has put in the work over the winter, and who is ready for whatever comes next. So what does come next? Right after Easter, Alex is heading to Linz, Austria, for the Upper Austria Ladies, a WTA 500 event running from April 6th to the 12th. She has never played this tournament before, which means whatever she earns there, every single point, goes directly on top of her current total with nothing coming off. If she reaches the quarterfinals, the points stack. Semifinals, more points stack. And this is a player who has been reaching the quarterfinals or better at virtually every tournament she has entered this year. Then she moves to Stuttgart, Germany, for the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix from April 13th to the 19th. Stuttgart is famously stacked, typically drawing almost the entire top 10, so Alex will likely need to come through qualifying. But here is what people underestimate about that situation. Qualifying matches are points. Qualifying matches are rhythm. They are extra time on court getting comfortable on a surface before the main draw even begins. Players who come through qualifying at big events often carry serious momentum into the opening rounds, and Alex has the game to capitalize on exactly that. And then comes Madrid. The Mutua Madrid Open, one of the biggest clay court events on the entire WTA calendar, starting April 21st. Last year, Alex lost in the second round. That means she is defending almost nothing there. She walks into Madrid with a nearly clean slate at a WTA 1000 event where a deep run can add hundreds of points to your total in a single week. A quarter-final in Madrid alone could push her back close to or past that number 29 ranking. And then Rome after that, where again she has almost nothing to defend. And then Roland Garros, the French Open, the most prestigious clay court Grand Slam in the world, where a strong run earns enormous points. She lost in the first round last year. The defense is zero. The opportunity is massive. You start doing the math and it becomes genuinely staggering. She sits at 1,255 points right now. Getting back to rank 29 requires somewhere around 1,500 points, maybe a little more depending on how other players' results shake out. She needs to find roughly 250 to 300 additional points over the next couple of months. A single semi-final at Linz does that. A quarter-final in Madrid does that. These are not outrageous expectations for a player of her quality entering a stretch of the calendar where she has virtually no pressure, a game built for the surface, and form that has been genuinely world-class all season. The number 45 ranking right now is not a reflection of who Eala is as a tennis player. It is a snapshot of a mathematical moment, a system updating its ledger, removing old points and temporarily understating her actual standing in the sport. Think of it like this. Imagine a slingshot being pulled back. That tension, that sudden drop, that backward motion, it is not regression. It is the prelude to something being launched forward. That is exactly what is happening right now with Eala. The WTA ranking system, the very same mechanism that just pushed her down to 45, is about to start rewarding her week after week after week as she collects fresh points with nothing falling off the back end. And the person collecting those points is not a player riding a hot streak and hoping it holds. She is a player who at 20 years old has already beaten 3 top 10 players in her career, who has made the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event as a wild card, who trains on clay with the same intensity and methodology that has produced some of the greatest baseline players in the history of the sport. She is coached by Joan Bosch, who understands her game intimately and has been shaping her development with genuine precision. Her left-handed forehand is a weapon that very few players on the women's tour possess. Her two-handed backhand has become significantly more reliable over the past year. Her footwork on clay is natural and fluid in a way that genuinely sets her apart. When you put all of that into the context of what is waiting for her over the next 3 months, the conclusion is not optimistic. It is logical. It is actually the most sensible outcome given everything the numbers and the form are telling us. After her Miami exit, Alex spoke with the kind of warmth and perspective that tells you everything about her character. She talked about how much she loves that tournament, how it will always hold a special place for her, and how completing the full Sunshine Double in the same calendar year was something she could feel proud of. She was not devastated. She was not shaken. She was grounded and already looking forward. That is not an accident. That is a 20-year-old who has been tested by real pressure, real expectations, and real defeat, and who has come through it all with her confidence and her love for the game completely intact. The Filipino tennis community has given her something extraordinary, this wall of noise and support and passion that follows her to every corner of the world. You see the flags in the stands at Miami. You hear the chants at Dubai. That support is real and it matters. And it is growing because Eala is giving people a reason to watch women's tennis who had never really followed it before. She is expanding the sport's footprint in a part of the world that has produced great athletes across many disciplines but had never quite had its moment in professional tennis until now. So when you see that number 45 and feel the instinct to worry, redirect that energy. Put it into anticipation instead. The clay court season is here. The schedule is perfectly aligned. The form is undeniable. The defense burden is almost non-existent. Alex goes into this stretch as free as any player on the tour, which is an almost unfair advantage when you are carrying the talent and the training and the hunger that she clearly has. She is going to compete in Linz, in Stuttgart, in Madrid, in Rome, and in Paris. And at each stop, she is going to add points with nowhere near the pressure that most players around her ranking are dealing with. Getting back to number 29 is not a question of whether. It is purely a question of when. And when you watch her sliding into a backhand on the red clay in Madrid, or grinding out a third set under the Paris sky at Roland Garros, remember this moment. Remember the drop to 45 and how it felt wrong, how it seemed to contradict everything the tennis world had watched her build over the past year. Because that contrast between the temporary number and the permanent trajectory is the real story of Alexandra Eala. The ranking will catch up to the player. It always does.